It is Errol once again. I've been here all afternoon watching the watch along with Steve, with James, and Liverpool are now into the fourth round of the FA Cup after successfully navigating their way past Accrington Stanley 4-0. Goals from Diogo Jota, Trent Alexander Arnold, Jayden Danns, and the late one to wrap it all up, tied in a little bow, Federico Chiesa. Wonderful afternoon, really enjoyable. Some nice bits of football, some good displays there, some young talent on display as well. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. This show is all about you. It is the Fan Interactive, so do let us know. Let's get your feedback. How do you think the game went? What would you have liked to have seen? Anything different? Did Liverpool do enough? What is your general feeling and gist after that game? Because for me personally, it was a very professional performance from Liverpool Football Club. The way that we took control of the game early, stamped our authority into the game, and didn't really have to get out of second gear in order to achieve, the result at the end of the day. We found it through a counter-attack, something that Liverpool have been so prolific at doing a number of times this season, and being able to catch teams cold. The pace and the power that we've got, good precision at the end, through ball from Dominic Szoboszlai into Darwin Nunez. Darwin Nunez, there he goes. That's who gets Trent's shirt. Darwin Nunez then plays the pass straight across into Jota's path. Jota couldn't really miss it. Father says, Errol and Steve are back in business and we're back to winning ways. I know it's felt like an age since I've sat on a watch along and since Liverpool have scored, but it's only been a week, so a lot can change. The mood around the club can change as well. Accrington Stanley, first and foremost, congratulations. Big up yourselves. You lads should be very, very proud of the performance that you've put in. You showed a lot of heart, a lot of courage. There was a couple of moments there as well, which you'll probably be left having nightmares over, because you could have done a little bit better. But I think, the quality of Liverpool showed through in the end. So I do want to give a little shout out to the lads from Accrington, all of the lads there. Massive, massive congratulations. Well done. Hopefully that is a day that you lads remember for the rest of your lives. Well deserved. Hope you've enjoyed it. Soak up this moment. Relish it with your friends and family. And congratulations and all the best for the rest of your season as well. But it had to be done. Liverpool had to do the business. Yusuf Ahmed said it was just a training session. No, put some respect on Accrington's name, man. I enjoyed that. Yeah, Mr. Monkey says, I enjoyed it as well. Yeah, exactly. Sam says, Danns looked like he's gained a yard of pace. A really good player. Yeah, Jayden Danns. He's exciting. He is someone that I am really excited by, to be honest with you, because of the way that he plays and moves. He's got a little bit of power to him now as well, and he feels like he's bulked out a little bit since we've seen him through a couple of performances this time last year, and it was a really, really strong cameo from him as well. Kistofsky says, perfect game. We won, we saw goals, played young lads, and no annoying injuries. Yeah, touch wood, there have been no annoying injuries, and everybody comes away unscathed. But it was an enjoyable game, to be honest with you. 2 goals in the first half, 2 goals in the second half. Let's talk about some performances. Who do you really want to look into in a little bit more detail? Because I would like to start with the young Rio. I think we spoke about it a little bit in the watch along, what people make of his performance today, because I just thought he was an exciting player. I know that he's very, very raw. There's a lot that needs to be refined within his all-round game, but I just thought in terms of his level of confidence, some of his quality on the ball as well, and his energy and dynamism was top notch to see, really, because to back yourself, to have that ability and to have that belief, it takes a lot of doing, and not everybody can take to the pitch with that much, that much grace, really, in a sense. A lot of people can become shrinking violent. The occasion can overwhelm you to an extent, and I think it's worth noting that he really did step up, and in that first half, he looked really explosive and looked to have quite a few good moments. Obviously, he starts to fade in that second half. I think that's because of the introduction of Chiesa. There's a lot more movement down that right-hand side, and a lot more of our patterns of play predominantly start to build up from that right-hand side. So he finds it a little bit harder to work himself into the game. But for his appearance in that, that first 45 minutes towards an hour, I thought he did very well, and it was quite exciting. And I hope this is the first of many performances that he gets for Liverpool in the red shirt. So let me know some of your thoughts on that. Neil King Mason says, thank you very much for the super chat. I do appreciate it. Chiesa's talent is still there. I just hope he can remain fit for the year. Danns needs to be in the first team. Errol, we need you on every watch along. I mean, it's not possible that I'm here on every single watch along, but I do enjoy the watch alongs. Absolutely, I do enjoy being here with you guys, being able to speak to the community, getting a feel for how you guys are feeling. And if I'm nervous, then it's time to be nervous. But if I'm calm and relaxed, usually it's because Liverpool are in a good place. Someone's just put there, hello, the spaghetti mafia. Yeah, absolutely. We've all waited. I think we've been very patient. We've all had to wait. He's tested my patience in particular. I'm not gonna lie, Freddie has tested my patience at times. But the boy done his job today. He was on job. He done his thing. A lot of credit. Got to give him a lot of credit for that, because that was an excellent finish. Ross, thank you very much. I do appreciate it. Yeah, there's a few good performances from Liverpool today. It wasn't just young Rio there, on the wing. There was performances all round that I thought were really well done. I think one of the things that I give sloth for was he still managed to maintain the balance of the team, because we didn't go completely with a young, untested team which might not have had the right level of chemistry. That team to begin with, to go out and really attack the game and manage the first half, they seem to have that balance. Trent, he picks up the TV's man of the match. You let us know in the comments, do you think Trent deserves to be man of the match? I personally thought Endo, the way that he marshalled that back line, that leadership quality that he was there, and I know he wasn't alone in that because Tsimikas is there and Trent's on the other side, but I just thought he was really, really mature in his reading of the game, his anticipation of certain moments, and when he needed to step up, step into tackles, read the ball nice and early. I thought he was very good off on the whole today, and though he didn't put a foot wrong, very mature performance from him, very commanding performance as well, which was really good to see. We're just watching some of the young lads now do a little bit of a warm down on the pitch, which we don't always quite often get to see, but obviously they've still got to do warm downs to obviously make sure that they maintain peak fitness. Yeah, Christopher C says Jayden Danns. He is a prospect. He's a hot prospect, and Liverpool have got a crop of young talent that again should really be pushing, doing their thing. Trent smiling, we love to see it, but they should really be pushing and wanting to work with this first team, get opportunities. When they get opportunities on the pitch, they should be taking their opportunities as well. And it was really, really good to see. Yeah, Oysen says McConnell looked great when he came on. He does. Yes, Steve was waxing lyrical about him as well in the watch along. Really, really likes him. Very, very talented. You can see it. C Max says, we know why they picked Trent with a little wink face. Yeah, I didn't even deep it like that, but when you say, yo, DS want to speak to him and do a little interview, yeah, maybe there's something in that. Yeah, Christian says, I thought the whole team was great. Tsimikas didn't put a foot wrong either and played some Trent-level crosses. Yeah, Luke, we just had our little thoughts on Rio's performance as well. Let us know your thoughts on his performance. I thought it was a really solid performance, guys, in the chat. Get some feedback over to Luke as well. Let us know what you thought of his performance, because for a 16-year-old to make that kind of debut and to produce that level of quality in a debut, the amount of take-ons that he had, I'd love to see some individual numbers from him as well. So if anybody wants to do the buttons while I'm doing this to the camera and let us know if he did any take-ons, anything like that, that'd be good. Let's see what kind of player ratings we're looking. David LFC, thank you very much for the super chat. Endo looked really sharp, played very well. Trent's goal was a top-class finish. All round very good game. Accrington did themselves proud. Yeah, big up. I think that is a takeaway that we should definitely promote in that respect, because I think they did. They came, they showed, they played with a lot of courage and character. They gave it a go, and you know what? When it got to the third, they thought, you know what? Let's give it a go, and if we're going to get beef 3-0, we may as well get beef 4-5 by trying to get a goal and get back into the game. So I've got a lot of time and a lot of respect for them in that case. Let's get straight to Trent Alexander Arnold, man of the match, because he's Trent Alexander Arnold, nothing else. I don't know if I agree with that. I think obviously Trent's goal in the first half was out of the top drawer. I also think that there was a lot of passes in that first half as well. There was a few switches. There was a couple of moments. Again, that conducting, and it was a bit of a mature performance. I don't really think Liverpool had to overexert themselves to, reinforce their dominance in that type of game. And I think when you're captaining the team, to just kind of keep everybody on the same page and make sure that everybody is controlled and measured where it needs to be, and nobody's being a little bit rash or losing their head. I think, a lot of that comes from the captain there leading from the front. However, I don't believe he would have been my man of the match. So I think there might be something in the whole Trent media thing as well that you might have to look into. But who knows? Jerome with the super chat says, so happy for Fede and Enzo was a Yazuka. Yeah, I hope that's like a good word in Japanese. I have not just dissed them, but I don't think it will have been. Gino says Nunez made a great assist, and he did. He put it on a plate for Jota, and that's what you want, really. And yeah, in an ideal world, you'd have wanted it to be the roles reversed, but at the end of the day, we expected there to be some level of link up, so I'm glad that there was. Edwin Gonzalez, thank you very much with the super chat as well. He says, yo, my dude, Errol is back. I thought McConnell looked good. I feel like Chiesa has something, and I want to see if he can be a consistent contributor. Yes, that's all we want. Be fit and available, because you are first team quality. Be fit and available for every single match day, and when certain players need a little bit of a rest, or if we do need, a different way of trying to score, or something different with an extra bit of quality, you can come in and prove your worth for us. And that's all I'm expecting of you between now and the end of the season. And if you can chip in and do that, credit to you. But I don't want you here today, gone tomorrow type attitude where you come into these type of games and then I don't see you now until March. No, lad, I need to see you in matchday squads from here on out consistently, and then chipping in when required as well along the way. Face off all, thank you, Faye. She's a long time viewer of the channel. Says Errol, Endo was boss at the back. Chiesa looks good. Let's go with a great goal. Yeah, it was a great finish, and that's it. Now, hopefully, that gives him the confidence to say, I've actually just scored in front of the cop. This is how it feels. I've got a little bit of a bug for it now, and let's continue. This is one where it will be interesting to have this conversation, so do let us know. Harvey's body language was concerning for me. I hope he doesn't leave. Yeah, I don't know if he's just a little bit short on confidence at the moment, Harvey Elliot, because he's not normally himself, and in games of this ilk, years gone by, we've seen Harvey Elliot being kind of the one that runs it in terms of that creative spark and that creative flair. And I don't know whether because Rio was on the pitch, he was, the moment was passed over to him and he was slightly overlooked in that, and because we expect him to be a little bit more senior now and just be a part of that fold. He's been around the first team, he knows his role, he knows what is expected of him. It's actually interesting to see Jayden Danns doing the interview from a Liverpool perspective over there with the guys from the FA Cup. I know he gets a goal, but maybe their plans backfired. Who knows? But yeah, from a Harvey Elliott's perspective, I was hoping he would come into his own and really leave his mark on this game, and he was fine. The performance was okay. Probably for me underperformed ever so slightly, but it's understandable. He's not been fully fit for the longest of time. He's just coming back into the first team, trying to make his way back into the squad. So it was interesting. Oy Sinclair comes back with another comment saying Fede looked hungry for that goal. Hopefully he can stay fit, and I think he will be the key to helping us lift the Prem. Well, hopefully, because that's all any of us want. We'll lift that Prem come the end of the season, and we'll give everybody the good grace, you know what I mean? Darwin can stay forever if we win the Prem. Joking. Shipscat says it's Jayden Danns on the telly. It is, Christopher Campbell says I thought Endo was so good in defence. He has been boss as a centre back. Very good role for him in the position that makes him a good defender. Yeah, absolutely. Sam also says I agree about Elliot's body language. Hopefully it's just frustration. Yeah. Marvin Brown says it was just another day at the office. It felt like that, to be fair. You know, I'm glad that Liverpool was able to be professional. They didn't get above themselves. They didn't roll out there and strut their stuff as if to say that they'd won before the ball was even kicked. They knew that there was a job that needed to be done. So, yeah, Liverpool fan made in China says there's murder on the dance floor. Yeah, he's brilliant, and he is a real talent as well. But like I said, there's a couple of players there for Liverpool that you could talk about in that same bracket of talent. You know, Rio coming in, you've got Trey, you've got McConnell, you've got Danns. You know, there's quite a few. We've got quite a healthy little roster there that's still with the squad, and then there are those that are, you know, applying their trade elsewhere at this moment in time that will come back in the summer, I'm sure, and all want to prove themselves capable and get back into Arnie Slot's plans. What was Darwin's performance like apart from the assist? I thought Darwin's all-round play today was good, to be fair to him. You know, it wasn't a frightening performance from Darwin where you thought, well, bloody hell, where's this guy been all season? But, you know, he didn't really make too many bad decisions. Yeah, the keeper makes a good save. There's one where he balloons it over the bar, but any striker can do that when he don't get the right level of contact. I think he makes a good couple of runs a few times, doesn't always get, you know, fed in with the ball. There was a couple of good link-up moments, and I think that's one of the things that I wanted to see more than anything else from Darwin was the link-up play today, because there needed to be someone that we wanted to provide that service for, and I know that Darwin provides the service for Jota, but in terms of linking things up and the passes, he was busy, he was a handful. You know, you turn around and think, you know, people say there, you know, it's £85 million for the player, but I think he was fine. You know, yeah, it's just the finishing. It just seemed to be a little bit wasteful, and yeah, I can take that because it was. You'd expect him to have a little bit more composure in moments. There was one in the first half which cannons back to him, and I would just anticipate in that moment that he just has a little bit more composure, calm. Like, those lads were flying in and putting bodies on the line because they was at panic stations, and Darwin had the opportunity to just calm it, set himself and strike the ball clean, and he doesn't do any of that really, and he is very wasteful in that moment. So yeah, but as in says, the hold up play was good, the passing looked better from Darwin. I would tend to agree with that as well. Someone else though on the other side of things says, I think Darwin's time at Liverpool was up, we should look at sending him onto another club and sign somebody else. Again, fair. If that's how you feel, and I can understand why people might think he might not be the level required for Liverpool Football Club. So that's absolutely fine. Yeah, that's it. He got the assist. Not going to be too harsh. He contributed. He was a part of the team. He done his job for us today. Lucas says, I'm so happy for Chiesa and Danns today. Yeah, I was that close to writing off Chiesa. If he didn't get on the pitch today, I thought that was it. And then it was almost a double-edged sword, because it was like, if you don't get on the pitch, you're done, lad. You know what I mean? I don't see a way back for you. You know, a 16-year-old has taken one of the potential spaces and places you could have played in that game, and you don't get a look in from the bench. Had the writings on the wall almost. But then when I looked at it from the other aspect of things, it was like, and then if you do get on and you don't contribute and you don't really prove your worth, that can equally be as damaging to Brand Chiesa. So it was a calculated risk from Slot that, yeah, I'm going to have to hold you back, and then I'm going to have to get you into the game. But at the same time, the faith from the manager into the player, and the player then saying to the manager, right, well, this is what I'm capable of doing. It was almost like the perfect balance of challenge there. You might not start the game, but you're going to finish the game. When you finish the game, I want you to come off on a high. And I think he was able to do that. So am I going to write him off at this stage right now? No, he's came in, he's chipped in, he's contributed today, but that has to be the going rate now. You know, that has to be more of a continuum for you now, Chiesa. You've got to continue to prove your worth. You've got to continue to stay fit. You've got to continue to get into match day squads in order to be able to add value to this squad as a whole, because between now and the end of the season, we are going to need you. And look, if you've got finishes like that in your locker, lad, you've got quality. Make no mistake about it. Do you know what I mean? Like, let's not get it twisted. I ain't trying to just, I'm not dubbing him a bum out here that's not capable. Like, it's never been that. It's just about your availability. And the best ability is availability. So if you're available, I know that we've got a quality asset that we can rely on off the bench, and I'm fine with that. Like, I'm not going to lose my head if I see you on the bench week in, week out. I lose my head when you just go missing and you ghost us. Nobody likes to be ghosted. Like, it's 2025. Like, you know, let's do things properly. And that's it there. That's Liam Daly says it. You know what? Can only do that if he gets selected. Tottenham would have been the perfect game for him. And again, you know, we wasn't very good in midweek, and you probably said, yeah, Tottenham should have been the perfect game for him, really. So that's the next challenge now. How can we build on this from a perspective from Darwin Nunez? How can he build on it? Hopefully, this is the big one. Ibu being fit. That's what I do hope coming into next week. He is fit and firing, so he's able to get in against Forest on Tuesday, because again, that's going to be, you know, battle at the top there, first versus second in the Premier League. So it is going to be a big game. Waffy says Dan should go on loan for the remainder of the season. Now that he's fit, you know, we might keep him around between now and the end of January, and we might review it in the last week. And his camp and Liverpool's camp might think that might be the best play for him, because he definitely needs to be playing regular football now if he is going to be fit, because the kid's got it. He has got talent, and you know, he has got that level. And I think this season isn't going to be that season for him ultimately, but next season, that's what he should probably be setting his sights on. How do I become a good headache for Arnie Slot? How does he look and think, yeah, I've got to be able to use this lad more often and frequently? So I completely agree. It might be a loan. Someone said, he can't build. He can't build on it. I don't get you. Why can't he build on it? There's nothing stopping him. He's not being sold. He's not being kicked out. I'm not writing him off. I'm just saying, if you're going to add value to this squad, you have to be able to build on it from now on. Like, it's just facts. You know what I mean? Like, that's just the reality of it. Someone saying loan Danns to Southampton in the chat. Yeah, Lucas saying that Quanta looked a lot more confident today, which is good. He needed that. He definitely didn't look sick, which was a big bonus. Rube says, I say the next cup tie should determine whether we keep him or put him out on loan. I imagine that's in relation to Jayden Danns. And yeah, again, obviously, if Liverpool get another favourable draw in the fourth round, we might want some of these young lads in and amongst the squad to be able to go to field and go for bat again for Liverpool. If Liverpool end up with a Premier League opposition, you know, if we end up with an Arsenal or a Man City, a Tottenham, whatever that might look like, there might be better options available for him in terms of where he's going to get minutes between now and the end of the season. What else have we got? Yes, Ashu says, he is a gem for the making, and we're hoping so. We everyone touts him as someone who's got a really high ceiling, and boy, that's what we want. Do you know what I mean? You know, frightening player, prospect, and I said it before, he would have not been starting the third round at the FA Cup for Chelsea had he stayed down in London. The fact that he's moved, that was part of the gamble, because it was work hard, get opportunities in Liverpool's first team squad 2024-2025 season. He's been able to do that, and you know, this is just the start for him, so let's just hope it continues to grow. Liam Daly says, I love Enyoni's ability on the ball. First instinct is to split the lines and progressive forward. Yeah, his progressive passes are just, you know, exceptional at times for someone with such, you know, a young age. To show that level of ability on the ball is fantastic. And again, I keep going back to the fact that we've got this little crop and roster of these young players that are really exciting. We want them to all flourish and grow into this side at some point. It just depends. See what happens, and if we can make that a reality as well, and if they can make it a reality, more importantly. Yeah, and he kind of hit the nail on the head there for me, if I'm being honest with you, bro. He says the Nunez chat is a little bit boring. Just get behind the player, lads. And that's it, lads and ladies. Liverpool win 4-0. He's involved in a couple of the goals in that respect. He definitely gets an assist for one of them as well. He has a good performance. The lads have a good performance. Just get behind him while he's got a red shirt on. And I'm a proper Nunez fan. That's the worst thing about it. I am a proper Nunez fan. I would love him, and I think it's because of my love for Luis Suarez. Just thinking that raw passion from those Uruguayans and those South American footballers is just unmatched. And if you can just hone that rawness and that ability and turn it into something, there's a diamond in the rough with someone like Nunez, and after time you just want to give him a hug and just tell him that everything's going to be all right. And yeah, Adam Harrison. I don't know if you're trolling me, and if you are, you're trying to break me heart, lad. And no, nobody needs that right now. But says Errol, have you heard the Napoli player? I'm not going to butcher his name either. Cravadonna is what I'm going to call him. Has asked to leave Napoli, and he's agreed terms with PSG. TalkSport have just announced it. Yeah, I did hear something about verbally agreeing terms with PSG, but his representatives are meant to be flying into France early next week to discuss. We'll see what happens with that, to be honest with you. And if France is, I thought it would be PSG that would end up with them. They desperately need some sort of quality forward at the moment to play either on that left or right hand side. That would seem to make sense if the money's right as well. They could definitely afford him in terms of his wage. I think he's on buttons over at Napoli as well in terms of what he's getting as a week. Buttons comparatively to other footballers of that level. I should probably frame that a little bit better, because let's be honest, footballers don't get paid buttons. There'd be some very fucking expensive buttons if that was the case. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, you can imagine he'd be getting a healthy package if he did move to PSG. PSG, Quadbot says PSG will offer the cash. I don't think we would match it. Who knows? Depends what the appetite is, and depends how desperate we would want it. But yeah, Neil Pryor says that PSG would be a step down. Who knows? We'll see what next week happens. January's going to be full of rumours. I didn't expect Liverpool, personally, my own opinion, not promoted by anybody else, but I did not necessarily think Liverpool would be doing that much business this January anyway. Yeah, Robin Whitby says, yeah, there'd be some diamond looking buttons or facts, bro. We'll slide into his DMs once Napoli accept PSG's offer. Hopefully, Errol, when do you think that Danns starts to get the bench striker role on a permanent basis? Again, I think we go back to the next round of the FA Cup draw conversation there. If it is favourable, there's a likelihood that he might stay with Liverpool between now and the end. I think there's a strong likelihood that he stays anyway to just be in and around the squad, but there could be that likelihood that he stays if there's a favourable draw. And I think there might be a couple of moments as we go towards the back end of the stretch where we might be thin in terms of bodies potentially, and then he could be somebody that gets brought in. But then equally, I think you're going to start to see that more on a consistent basis from next season. If he just keeps his head down and he keeps working hard, I think he got what it takes. There's definitely a player in there, and there's somebody that gets it as well. And I would love that. But ladies and gents, do stick around, because there's still 2,000 of you nearly watching. So big up everybody that is watching the stream still. I hope you guys are all in a good mood. Hope we've set the tone right for the Saturday. The weekend is weekending, ladies and gents. We can all just chill. That Dadpool says he's sensing Lucho to Spurs vibes. Was dead set for the signing for Spurs until we showed up and turned his head. And if we need to do that as well, because there's going to be contract talks about Diaz down the road, not 100% sure if he'll get another contract or re-sign with the conditions that Liverpool offer and put on the table, which means that then potentially Liverpool may end up in the market. So if the opportunity does come, let's go get our target now. We've seen Liverpool do negotiations and deals of that nature before, so don't rule it out. But at this moment in time, I wouldn't set yourselves up. Don't put all your eggs into the Cravadonna basket, because I don't want to see you all heartbroken in that sense. But yeah, stick around, because we are going to go over and do your player ratings. Let me know who you thought your man of the match is. Some player ratings. We're going to rank them. Probably going to do that in a couple of moments. So unless anybody else has got any other talking points that you want to go, do we go and get a DM? It's up in the air. I don't think we do. I'd love us to get a DM just to give Gravenberch a little bit of respite, because I think Slott's probably seen more that Endo is more comfortable being a utility defender than that utility DM for us in the way that he wants the squad to play. So I don't think we do, but I'd love us to. It's Harry says, who do you think our best player was today? I personally think Trent was class. Oh, it's hard to say who the best player was because I was really impressed with what Endo did when he was on the pitch. But then equally, Trent did have that quality and he does have that class. So, yeah, there is maybe a little bit of a toss-up. I thought Tyler Morton potentially had a bit of a quiet game. Right-hand side, Harvey played okay. Yeah. Join us over at the player rankings and we'll get into it. Let's get into it. Endo for me, Trent was good. Plus the worldie. Baldwin says we're going to go for Zubi again. Zubi do. Where are you? That's what I want to know. But anyway, right, ladies and gentlemen, let's wrap up the interactive. Let's get over there, do some rankings, and then let's go enjoy the rest of our Saturday while not. So thank you very much for watching. I have been your host, Errol, and I'll be your host again over there. So see you in a sec.